They have no relationship to each other, but that's just what happens. The reason why is because it's hard when there's a patient on the table to take a break, and I never know when the patients are in it, you know, just you have, I try, you know, so feel free to walk in and out as you need. Let's have you on the table.
So we are the same.
Oh, and I brought some, there's some Shionko cream, Nick has some in injectors. So there's, I didn't bring enough for everyone, but there's probably 8 or 9 of them. And there's some Moxa if you want to take some.
Virtually, yes.
When you take the Moxa, put it in a piece of tissue paper. All right. Let's get started.
Brain oxygenates.
Yes. Okay. So Lorraine has cystitis. She's had cystitis a number of times throughout her adult history, but not as a child, right? Okay. And she had pleurisy as well, and both her brothers did they have something in the lungs? Pneumonia. So, and that's pretty much the medical history. So, how long has this cystitis been?
We started on Monday.
Started on Monday. Gangrene, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing. So. I know where the Nike came from. So the interesting thing about her body, if you were this shows it much better. Look at how long she is here. Very unusual. Okay, that there's this incredible length, you know, from the waist to the knee. It's a little bit unusual. Okay, so it's just something to note. I don't know what it's going to mean for the cystitis or not, but it's, you know. All right. So. Oh, and the only other thing that I don't know could be related, the ectopic pregnancy that burst, that happened after you've already had cystitis before. Okay, so it's not probably not the trigger. Okay. Guess it's not bad in a minute. She also has a pulse that's very, very, very thin, quite hard to find. Do you sleep okay?
Yes,
Generally. Okay, so cystitis should show REN 2, REN 3, kidney 11 area. Okay, it's hard to say exactly where, but somewhere in there. And the pleurisy should show either, because it's pleurisy, it actually can show in lung 1. Normally, you know, bronchial stuff we don't check on lung 1. Bronchial stuff we check on kidney 1. Okay, so let's just do the whole, you know, the whole abdomen just to get a picture of what else there may be. So she hasn't brought with her a medical history that's, you know, like some other people I say, oh, no, I think it's this. You know, she doesn't have a clear, you know, maybe the medical history is weakness in mucosal membrane, which accounts for the lungs and the bladder as well. Okay, that's, you know, it's a reasonable, you know, sort of the symptom and the root are of the same nature in this case, possibly. But let's check the whole abdomen to see if it kind of brings up a whole new, wow, like why don't we try this, okay? So when I poke here, you just feel my finger? Okay. So if it feels different, ooh, okay, so she has a ketsu, painful. How about here? Chances of the bladder feeling in stomach 26, 27 is not likely. Okay. Now it could be the from which one's called which? From the kidney to the bladder is called ureter or ureter? Ureter. Okay, so it could be ureter. Okay. Does one side of the back hurt by any chance? Okay. How about forearm? Uncomfortable. How about this side? Chances are she may actually have oketsu, stomach 26, 27, and below kidney 16 on the left side. If she has lots of infections in her life, the blood starts slowing down. You know, it's like the blood starts to get murky. Okay. right side and left side, liver 14?
Tiny
That's
bit more
tiny.
tender.
How about under the ribs? Okay,
That's okay.
red 17. So up to now really oketsu, maybe liver 14. Okay. How about 1, 2, 3?
Third one's tiny.
Third one? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the scalings? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2.
Middle one's okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, and you said this one, or was it this one? It's this one, right? So middle of the SCM on the right side. Okay, so it's okay, no. So now I'm checking the circles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you okay? Are you holding your breath? What was that okay or not? Should be
No, but I'm just a bit emotional. The last couple of days and okay.
And I want to check Sandra 16 because if it's weak mucosal membrane, it will show as immune, even though it didn't show as immune in the abdomen. Anything Sandra 16? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. So left side Sandra 16. Just reach. No. Okay. All right. So SCM on the right, scalings on the right, cervicals on the right quite strongly. Okay, so and liver 14 teeny bit, so it's kind of interesting. She has a very strong liver presentation on the neck and not much in the liver itself, which is okay. Any discomfort when I press here? Okay. All right. Now that I've checked the rest of the body, I can go into REN 3, REN 2, kidney 11 area, because if I did that first, I may lose my chance of checking the rest of the abdomen. Because let's say she has horrible pain on REN 2, she's going to compare everything to that pain, she's not going to say anything. So it's always better not to check their pain until the end. Check the abdomen first, okay? Then check whatever else you want to check. So any discomfort, or does that make you want to pee?
No.
Do you feel burning just when you urinate?
No, it's there. It's
Right now you feel-
No, not really that, but it does come and go in waves,
Okay.
where it waxes and wanes a bit.
Nothing.
It's not very nice.
Okay, not very nice. Okay. This is not. Ooh, oh. How is now once okay. And not very nice. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. How is now? The abdomen is okay. All right. So you had really uncomfortable here and pretty uncomfortable here. When I press on the leg, I'm sorry, if you can ignore. How is this one?
Better.
And how is this one?
That's okay.
Good. Okay. Now, let me take liver 5 on the other side. Liver 5 is my best point for strengthening mucosal membranes. Okay, so liver, I'm thinking liver 5 and immune point. I'll check immune point in a second. And notice I'm looking for liver 5. Do you see what's going on here?
Yes.
There's a hole. Okay. When I press it, it leaves a dent. So you had here, and you had actually. Let's take it back.
That's
Okay.
tender.
When I press on this hole, how's the tender?
Better.
Totally?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So, and I want to do, by the way, anything here, here, but you didn't like this one, did you? No, it was liver 5. Okay, so it wasn't. Okay. All right, let's get her started.
So the mucosal membrane, though, can you just explain if is that in relation to the lungs or?
The liver 5 is more for bladder, for lower jaw. So in lower jaw inflammation is spleen 5, liver 5. Okay? But liver 5 is anti-inflammatory, but liver 5 also strengthens mucosal membranes. But lung is also mucosal membrane. For lung 5 immune point is better. But what I proved to myself is that liver 5, which remember is only a Moxa point for me, besides doing the bladder, also fix the neck. Okay, so I'm kind of proving to myself that, okay, I'm not just using it symptomatically. That's really the main thing I'm trying to do. Now, Ren 21, the name of the point Ren 21, okay, is Xuanji. Okay, meaning it's an instrument, it's a sextant. Okay, what does a sextant mean? It's an instrument when you're on a ship to locate the North Star. Okay, so, and Ren 3 is called Zongji, the central pole. The central pole is the North Star. Okay, if you want to fix the Ren 3, the central pole, the North Star, you cannot go to the North Star and fix it. Okay, nobody can reach it. But what you can do is you can change your sextant. Okay, so she had pain here, right? Okay, and if I press Ren 21 downwards, she says it's better, right? Okay. And you also had, now let's see, this is kind of like more symptomatic, but I want to see if it will do anything for the uketsu. You have here, right? Okay, how about here? Oh, okay. So let's see if sextant is willing to fix uketsu also. Okay, great. So, it's not a needle yet. Now it's a needle. Oh. So, autonomic nervous system also, right? That's okay, we'll fix that too. Well, now we'll fix the autonomic nervous system. You okay? How much is left here? Okay. How much is left here? Or here? Okay. How about this icky one in the neck? A little bit tender. Okay. That's immune point. So I'm just checking. Immune point is not supposed to fix cervicals. That's not its relationship. Its only relationship is inside her, that she has weak, if her issue is weak immunity, weak mucosal membrane. But I also, because of the autonomic nervous system, because she jumps with the needle, it's just the way it is. Let me see what Sandra 5 does. Hi. Okay. Because her pulse is rapid. So I always start on the left side. For us, left side is chi side. I know you're not going to like this. For us, left side is chi side, right side is blood side. I'll explain that in a minute, so just remember that. Remember to ask me. So we're always starting on the left side. You move the chi before you move the blood. That's a big principle in Chinese medicine, right? Okay.
You do both sides, Sandra 5.
Yes, you can just do the left if you really wanted to, but no reason why. It's, some points are just so powerful. It's like, okay, don't overdo it. Sandra 5 is okay. You can. Okay.
Sorry, Avi, could you repeat why you're doing Sanjiao 5 on the right?
First of all,
have you done it both sides?
I've done it both sides.
Okay.
I start with the left. The reason I do the left, the right SCM,
Yeah.
but the right cervicals. Sanjiao 5 or Sanjiao 8 works for opposite SCM, actually works the same side SCM also, by the way, that's a different story. But the dogma is it works for opposite side SCM, same side cervical. Okay? Now.
Sorry, is that Sandra 5 going against the flow?
No, remember I told you towards me,
Just that.
this way. And because I was in this side, it looks like it's straight in, unfortunately, which really should go more towards there. Immune and Sanjiao 5 towards me. I usually go around the table, but then I'll be blocking people's sight and stuff. So,
What was it for same side cervical?
Sanjiao 5 or Sanjiao 8, depending on the pulse rate. The thing that releases the SCM is its opposite side, and the cervicals get released by the Sanjiao on the same side.
So in this case, we have cervical or SCM, or both?
You had both on the right side, therefore Sanjiao 5 on the left side for the SCM, Sanjiao 5 on the right side for the cervical. The SCM is opposite side, the cervical is the same side. Do you want to do
Yeah,
these
of course,
ones?
yeah.
That's lighter, it's so much nicer. Any questions up to now?
Have you put any points in the lower leg at all?
No, it's going to be liver 5. I mean, it's a Moxa point, so no.
So just Moxa liver 5.
So just not at this point, yes. We'll see if there's anything else. Okay, Lorraine, you may hate this,
Oh.
but you may not mind it at all.
I'll be gentle.
You'll be gentle, I don't promise anything, unfortunately. Are you okay? Okay, this is the third one I'm doing, so you're clearly okay up to now, so no need to get too nervous. I might have done under the third toe, for example.
Moxa or needle?
Neither. You could do either, but. Which side?
The right.
The small side, so partially is because of the ashes. So here's my, actually, if people want to come and see a little bit closer, because I'm going to talk to you, so I'm going to talk with privately, but it's really advice for everyone. What I'd like you to do is try and do this situation where you're using this space very compactly. I'm here, and here, I barely moved. See what I'm saying? So
So,
it's-
right on top.
Yeah, and I think you might be, try and make the Moxa a little fluffier. Bigger is fine. Remember, my mantra is size does not matter. Tightness does. And we're talking about Moxa, in case you're wondering. Okay. So I'm taking a piece, I'm rolling it very lightly with my finger, transferring it to the other hand, and then I also wipe my hands all the time so there's no sweat. Now all I'm doing is pinching, parachuting, lighting. Whoops, lighting. Lighting. Okay. Pinch, parachute, light. Pinch, parachute, light. Do not parachute it if it's still burning underneath. Are you okay now?
Mm.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it was just a little something on the,
Okay.
sorry, on the right again.
So, okay. Always blame someone else. It's
Mm.
not very nice if she
I think
says
you mean
nice.
left, Lorraine?
She can't say left. It's like it won't be polite. So I'm not moving around a lot. That too much, too much ash. It's hard to. So when you parachute, yeah, well, I told you liver 5 is
Oh,
is one of the higher numbers.
21,
Yeah, that's one. When you parachute, I think you're trying to parachute it this way, and my suggestion is parachute it both hands. Don't come all the way to the skin. Don't squash it. Parachute.
when you say parachute, what do you mean?
Okay. Drop it down. As opposed to don't try and stick it on, because if you stick it on, you're compressing it. So just like lightly let go.
This isn't your problem, but my hands are quite rough at various times, depending on what I've done, and it sticks to the fingers. It doesn't want to, unless I push it onto the skin.
Okay, so what you need to do in that case is don't hold it here. You have to hold it. See, the hands are very light. I'm holding, see how, all I have to do is open my hand, it's gonna drop. Well, if it's touching something, it will, for sure, gravity dictates it. So I think you might be holding it too far in.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't
Yeah,
seen,
yeah,
I'll be happy to look, but it's all about, you know, people try a little too hard to do this. And then there's tension in the hand, which means that the moxa itself gets the sweat of your hand, so it's gonna burn harder. But also, it's kind of like we're a little afraid of it often. So just keep your hands very light, nothing's gonna happen. See, this one's a teeny bit big, no problem. Light it, take it out. Light it, take it out. Light it, take it out, light it once more.
When you say take it out, are you
Pinch
extinguishing
it.
it?
I'm extinguishing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
not
sorry,
taking
my-
any off?
No, I'm
Okay.
pinching it, pinch it out.
It's not hurting you, you should not scream.
I'm not screaming. No, but I mean, it's so
Get
quick.
used.
No, it's just, it's incredibly quick. It's truly a non-problem. Okay, we can do immune points. Nick's ready.
21.
If you say. I didn't count. Are you okay? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling
Fine, sleepy, wanting to sleep?
I'm just zened out. Quite zened out.
Good. That's one of the problems with insomnia, is that everybody feels very kind of relaxed, and you know, so it's hard to evaluate. Did we really, you know? So we're not going to know until you go to sleep.
I probably won't stay here that long.
That's what I don't expect.
Yeah, get a room at the hotel.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a hotel. You can do
Spend the
that.
night with me.
Yeah, we don't do. Oh, sorry, my side. Say, finally come to my side. My side? Now, some people advocate rolling this side, so it's like one thin thing, and it's just an incarnate, which is I think what he's been taught, which is why he's having problems. That's why I don't like that method. You see, mine, they're not so thin, it's not a big deal. Just roll a teeny bit, pinch whatever comes out. Oh, this was what came out. And deal with it as it's down. This is too big, not a problem. Pinch it out.
So you would never advocate using little boards or
Oh,
cork
God,
or something? Okay.
No, absolutely not. I
Because it
think
rolls
they're
it too
horrible.
tight? Or?
It rolls it too tight, although what there's no sweat in it, but it's still too tight for my taste.
Okay.
You know, I personally don't like the boards, but it's not, you love them, I mean, there are people who use them, and that's you know, the Japanese claim that that's officially okay, so who am I to, God forbid, say no? You know, it's like, but it's not my method, honestly. The most important thing for me is keep white hands and just fluff easy in the hands, just easeful hands, not tight hands. Don't get, it's can I have the incense stick for a second?
Yeah, it's broken.
Okay, so take the broken and then get rid of it, I'll have the other side. I don't need it lit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. The biggest problem that people have is, now I can't do this, a lot of people do this. I don't feel comfortable. That feels too, I don't feel like I'm in control of the incense stick, so I use this. Okay? But the biggest thing that people don't like is putting the moxa down and lighting it with the first safe hand. So what they do, I'm right-handed, okay? So what they do is they hold the incense stick in the left hand. Big mistake, do not do that. Repeat, do not do that. Because what will happen is you'll pinch, you'll put it down. Now you can't possibly feel comfortable lighting it with your left hand. Okay? So now you're going to transfer.
Avi, can we let this one go? Can we let her go?
Yes, we can. I'm sorry, I thought that was, yeah, absolutely. Thank you
Okay,
very much for
thank you.
coming.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, thank you.
You don't want to transfer hands with the incense stick, so you keep it here, and I know that as you put the moxa, you're afraid you're going to burn the patient with a burning hand. You're not, it's here. So, see, the whole thing is like this. See how small an area it is? You're not going to you're not going to stick the instant stick in them. It's kind of like, I can't say it can't happen, but you know, it's not as if there's nothing you're doing that's going to cause it. So you have to get over the fear and over the wanting to control the moxa. The moxa, the shape of the grain of moxa that's going to come out will be in the shape of a bear, it will be in the shape of a squirrel, it will be in the shape of whatever it comes out. It's okay. It will look like it looks, and if it's a little too big, you have a solution. So people get so uptight about it, it's gotta be small. No, it's gotta be easeful, it's gotta be fluffy, much more important than size. Okay, size really doesn't matter. The fact it shouldn't be tight, neither the hands nor the moxa. Okay? Let's leave Lorena on, okay?
Yeah.
All right. We'll move over to the other side so we're not like surrounding her. Oh, sorry. All right, so.
Do you mind just summarising how you, I can't remember how you're going to write it, mucosal membrane, and did you
Cystitis and pleurisy. She has problems in 2 organs that have mucosal membranes.
She has pleurisy.
At some age, I can't remember what the age was, but in the history.
And what about linked to your nervous system in the sense she often will get it?
Then that was
She
such
gets-
a, yeah, so I understand, but still, okay. For right now, the most important thing is the cystitis, and this is, you have to treat acute. But yeah, is there an autonomic nervous system involvement? Yes, but the autonomic nervous system involvement is latching onto another weakness. In other words, she can have autonomic nervous system and say, I have shoulder pain. Like, for example, what's the name, the one who was on that table before, was, you know, I have autonomic nervous system and it shows spine, or it shows hip, or heart. So I still need to strengthen the mucosal membranes. Then I can also, so that's why I do Sanja 5. Because she was jumping with needles, I didn't want to do more than just Sanja 5. That's really the issue here.
Okay.
So, because it's like, you know, when people jump with needles, like, do I really want to, like, okay, let's do under the photo, and by the way, let's add, you know, so a little bit more minimal to let the body, and there's a good chance that on the back we might be able to do a little bit more. So we'll see. We'll find out. Any other questions?
So these muscles here is the
Scalings. Yeah.
What do you do when you find
Tight? Okay, the dogma for scalings is spleen 3, and or lung 8, and or inner yin, and or heart 3. So either one or all 4 or any combination that will solve it. They're all on the same side for some side.
Okay. And for example,
It's very important to resolve scaling. Because people, it often indicates emotional tension, you know, like up to, you know, plus it controls the whole arm. So scalings are very important, and some people with muscular pain will show scalings. So that's why, remember, spleen 3 is my major point for muscular type pain, not tendon pain, muscular pain, not bone pain. Okay?
and in this case, what did you use for the?
I didn't check that. I think that
She had the
yeah, I think liver 5 did it. Well, I mean, remember I checked liver 5, I checked immune point. Those were the 2 things I checked everything against. Then I added Sanja 5. So I was, because she jumps, and I did this one, which is just purely symptomatic. Okay, REN 21 for REN 3. Okay, so basically, I tried to, the moment that I saw that REN 21, there was a, you know, it's hard, you know, needles kind of make her jumpy. I don't like, that's not, it's better to minimize for a patient like that. Rather than, you know, like, you know, more needles will be better for you. Well, no, they're gonna make you tense and they're gonna make you jump. It's not worth it. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense, but then that means that you are limited in how much you can do for those kind of people.
I'm never limited.
Yeah? How do you overcome that?
You do what you can. I mean, you know, it's like, that's not a limitation. You see, I think that's a wrong way of looking at it. It's not a limitation at all. It's just what the patient comes. Just like this patient has adrenal, this patient doesn't. In fact, this is what they have. They're not limiting you.
No, I
My
mean,
mind is free.
So
No, I'm serious. In other words, I'm working with the conditions there are as opposed to with the limitation is when I want something that I can't do. Then it becomes a limitation. I don't want anything. All I want to do the best I can, and it's not dependent on having to use X amount of point or more point. If there's a situation where I'm going, okay, I haven't cleared, I really need more points, I do what I can to negotiate with her or make her feel more comfortable or distract her more. I'll find a way to do what I need to do. So in a case like this, I take less insurance because it's not fair for the patient to take insurance that's going to hurt them or going to startle them, or your insurance basically backfires. So it's not limiting. You can say it's challenging. No, there is really a difference.
I mean, effectively, you still cleared all the.
Yeah, and then it's like anything else. Listen, I could have done 10 more points and cleared the same amount, and I have no idea if I did it or not. Only she knows afterwards if it's working or not. I don't know anything. Only the patient, it's like, all I can say is the abdomen seems clearer. I believe I'm in the right direction. But
yes, if you were seeing
then it's
her
between
for-
the patient and God. No, I'm serious. I've done my thing. There is no way I can dictate. All I can say is it appears, it looks like we're going in a positive direction. As long as the abdomen clears, it looks good. But I can't guarantee until there's no more symptoms. And even then, no more symptoms, and then, well, next year the symptom comes back. Well, it happens. I can't control it. It's not that I'm not taking responsibility. It's just that how can anybody take responsibility? It's not possible. You just do your job. That's really all you're doing. You're doing what you can, and the more you insist, the less able you are to do the job, in my opinion. Your own freedom, your own relaxation, your own imagination, to be able to make connections. How can you make connections between the body and your theory and if you're gotta fix it, it's like, okay, this is what's happening, this is cool, okay, I have a theory, let's check it, oh, that theory didn't work, okay, no problem. As opposed to, many people, they email me, well, I tried this theory, and I'm stuck. I can hear them panting through in the email. I'm like, okay, cool it. It's like, okay, one theory, so what? It's like, do you know how many, for me, bring me any person, one theory didn't work out, it's fine, I can make up 300 other stories. I'm telling you, it's just storytelling. Treat it like story. Alibaba telling us, is it Alibaba, who's the woman who was?
Scheherazade.
Forget Alibaba. He can eat hummus and falafel in his cave. He was Scheherazade. It's like you just keep making up stories. Enjoy the story. Don't be attached. The mind unattached is more important than how you hold a needle, what points you use. The moment you're attached, it produces an incredible tension for you, and it blocks. That limits you. You cannot afford to be limited. You really, I'm serious. It sounds like I'm just like making up psychobabble, but it's not. It's very important. Just like with a needle, if you ask me about needle technique, the most important thing is your hand is free. Your hand is loose, especially the wrist. Okay? People try a needle. Same thing when you poke. You poke. Do you have this? It's like, I don't know if you're going to have it. It doesn't matter. Hi, you happen to have it. You happen not to have it. I don't care. It's okay. You don't have this. You'll have something else. You don't have anything. No problem. It's going to be annoying, but no. I mean, it's like patients are not coming in order to satiate me. They come. I can say that they serve me. They serve my growth. They serve as a mirror to me, but they're not coming to satiate my ego. Of course, it's much nicer if they have X amount of findings and I can clear it, and I'm cool, right? They come as they come. It's okay. Any other questions? Yes.
What was the trick? How do you clear the abdomen without a needle?
Someone who's not getting a treatment. get on the table. You'll be disappointed, I guarantee you. It's such an easy trick. It's not. It's like you're gonna go. This is it. Okay. So let's check what you have. All right. So, and plus now she gets to feel how much I touch. So that's another advantage. Okay. So this is the baseline. Tell me if anything's different. Hi, a little bit. I think. No. No. Okay, that's okay. Here.
Maybe there's.
You definitely have a Ren 9 pulse. Do you feel a little bit your pulse?
I feel almost like some kind of.
Okay, coming. Okay, fine. That's a finding. That's a fine. Okay, so she has Ren 9. I also feel a pulse. How about 4 o'clock? 8 o'clock?
No, it feels to me that it's not a very strong pressure that you're.
Okay. That's okay. I don't care.
Okay, but then I don't. It's okay. It's
Oh! I see. Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Well, if you, I don't feel it. Yeah. There's that kind. Okay, we understand.
No, I would expect more troublesome. Feels,
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. You just have to go with the flow. There'll be something else. Maybe it won't be the best example for this. Maybe it'll show on the SCM. This I think has. No? Compare left side and right side tighter. No?
Yes, but it's not much.
Okay. What's your blood pressure?
Probably towards low, but
Probably
I don't
towards
know. I
Okay.
don't measure it.
Okay, it's okay. But somebody must have at some point. It's okay.
It was, as they say, fine. I can't remember.
Yes, as they say, fine. Okay. It's hard for you, the person who, hard for them to just, I know what the source of the problem is in your case.
Me too.
Yeah, I know you know. Because, no, you may not agree about the source. People who you grew up in Yugoslavia, right?
Yes.
Communist country education sucks. Maybe very good academically, but is not very encouraging for people to let go of latching on. This is very typical of a lot of Eastern Europeans, unfortunately, of a certain age. Okay? No, I mean, now maybe is a little different, I don't know, but, because I think we're a little more similar age, but I don't know.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know actually yours.
57.
Oh, no, I'm not so. But I don't, this
But still, you grew up in a
Oh, but it was good. Trust me.
The see, because they, no, I know exactly
For
why.
me, I think it was good.
I don't know, yeah. But no, but also they think, because you're judging that academically it was on a high level.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I'm judging it's not encouraging people to think
It's not
on books by
encouraging to
themselves
grow.
and to let go. So what happens, therefore, it's a type of education that asks people to be in control all the time.
Maybe it's my nature more than.
Believe me, many people from East Europe has this nature.
Yeah.
I don't think that Poland or Yugoslavia or Hungary or Czechoslovakia or Russia all have this. All the people in there, 90 so large a percentage have that nature. I think it's an education
Okay.
system, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know.
No, I think it was good, really.
Okay, let's go back again. No. So hard type, it's hard for her to say something about the body without the mind wanting to analyze. It's an engineering type of education. Everything has to be engineered. Everything has to be analyzed and dissected.
Yes,
It's-
because you see, my education, my first degree is electronics and heavy. So that is.
It's okay, but there are electronics engineers in this country or in America that totally can tell me what's happening in the abdomen. Now, of course, there are problems. Listen, there are also philosophers who can't say anything about the abdomen. So it's not like it's a type of thinking. For you, it's hard. It's just the way it is, and for me, that generally indicates an autonomic nervous system because the body and the mind, their connection is different. It's hard for you to say discomfort. You're going to think about it. You're going to figure out, does he think this is discomfort? Is this the right answer? Is this,
I don't think you got me. I
Okay.
don't think I'm because I have other
Not that
side of me.
uptight.
That's because there were sometimes people would find it very quickly, and I have immediately reaction.
Mhm.
Can you see like this?
You talk about,
Of tearing.
yeah.
So I feel it very strongly.
Uh-huh.
So.
But you're not saying. Oh, you feel when other people poke.
Yes,
Okay, I can't speak for other people because I have no idea how they poke.
but also I felt something here as well.
Okay,
Well,
Ren 9 you feel.
here,
Okay, you feel this here.
Yes.
This is the only one you felt.
yes, so
Okay.
far.
How about this or this?
Yes, there.
Okay, this right
Yes,
side.
yes.
Okay, fine. So right side, spleen type, digestive type. Do you have constipation or anything along those lines?
No, but worry.
Worry. Okay. Don't you think it's interesting?
PCM.
Yeah. How we arrive from digestion to worry, I have no clue. Apparently through the TCM world, there's a connection. Okay. Okay. So there's this and there's coming up.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. Bend your knees for me. Okay. You will regret this. Okay, relax. Let your feet go into my shoulders. Relax the knees. Relax the knees. Okay. Take a deep breath.
Oh yeah.
Not me.
Relax. All I did was stretch the fascia. No needles, no nothing. We'll give you the bolster back.
Fascia on the
quickly.
back
No, the fascia of the abdomen.
of the abdomen.
Okay. How's going upwards?
Yes,
Less. How's this?
there is pain.
Same as before?
Not same. Yes.
Okay. Let go. Good, good. Ah, now you let go. How's this?
Better.
Okay. You don't need needles to release that. Releasing the abdomen is a very small trick. It's not, you can take a patient, you can check the abdomen, leave them alone, put a heat lamp. You can tell them, Qigong lamp. Leave the room, come back in 10 minutes, check the abdomen, everything's gone. The trick is, can I do it on the spot? That's the trick. You see, the clearing of the abdomen is a path, it's not the end. It's not the purpose. Nagano did not clear abdomen, as far as I know. He cleared, he changed pulses. We can't do it. It's just something, there's lots, listen, how come lots of TCM practitioners or other practitioners never check abdomen and still get good results? Who says this is the only thing to do? It's just convenient. It's just an expedient means by which to do something. So if when I start making it, clearing abdomen is the most important thing, I lost the battle. Because I'm all concerned, the only thing that matters is, can I make the patient better? I'm judging whether I'm on the right path by the abdomen changing. That's all. Does that make sense? It's a lot easier than one thinks. And how you clear the abdomen, yes, there's lots of protocols. Memorizing them by heart is certainly helpful. And on my website, there's lots and lots of lists and blah, 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 blah. The lists are not that big, by the way. It's not like impossible to memorize, but it does take time like everything else. Your biggest tool is your imagination. That's why I'm saying a relaxed mind is more important. And I know it's frustrating because that's not so easy to produce. Thank you. All right, let's turn over. Okay.
Can I ask, if somebody comes with cystitis, what else do you recommend if they don't take any medication or any kind of
I definitely recommend no antibiotics because, cystitis is often recurring. And the antibiotics are not going to strengthen the mucosal membrane. You need to strengthen the mucosal membrane. So I would recommend things like cranberry juice, but really it's about finding out what, how much of it is in the nervous, like in her case, it's, chances are that, there's a nervous system involvement, how much can relax, you know, in life in general. Look at your sugar consumption. One of the first things when any inflammatory sort of situation, look at how much sugar there is. And when I say sugar, I mean simple carbs. I know it's a very hard concept in England, where, you know, I mean, actually lots of cultures. We love bread, we love pastries, we love, I mean, you know, all of us. But, you know, so it's very, and people don't know that they're, you know, they have no idea. You know, you ask people, what's your diet like? Oh, it's very good. Can you tell me what you actually eat? And then they kind of like blank out a little bit, and then it's incredible what people actually do eat, and they think it's good. You know, so it's just you've got to be very firm in not in demanding, but in explaining that, you know, the breads, the pastry. I don't do sugar, but you do bread, you do pasta. This is basically sugar. It's only one step away from white sugar. So you have to watch out. And so, you know, you have to look at what are the contributing factors in our lives, and it's not always going to be so easy to figure it out. Especially when it comes to food. But yeah, dark leafy greens, anti-inflammatory, cut down sugar.
I know every case is different, but would you treat solely with acupuncture, or will you use herbs or anything else?
I might use herbs for acute, yes. The problem for me with herbs is this. When I lived in San Francisco, it wasn't a problem. I write a prescription to go to Chinatown to get it. I don't stock. I don't do herbs enough. So yeah, for acute conditions, I'm happy to do herbs. I live an hour north of Boston, which means they have to get to Boston to get the herbs in Chinatown. So it's not so common for me now to prescribe because it's just not as easily available. So I'd rather work with diet than with herbs. You know, herbs for me is like for you want a quick thing. You want to move it quickly with herbs, then it's a very good thing. But for constantly taking herbs, do it with food. Make sense? Yeah. Let's turn it over.
And if the cystitis has kind of gone more to the kidneys and it's...
Sorry?
You know, if it's kind of moved more towards the kidneys and you're thinking, like, what would you do differently?
What would be different? I would look, well, I don't recall anyone with that. I don't recall clearly, but then I might look at kidney 7 or kidney 9 also. All right. Just want to make sure I have these. Are your arms comfortable where they are? Okay. Yeah, usually people start like this in weird ways, and it's not comfortable for them, you know, after a few minutes. So this tends to be the most comfortable position for lying face down. Okay. Any discomfort? 2, 3. No? No? Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear you because you're talking towards the floor. That one does?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And,
Oh,
T7. Okay. How about here? Sorry?
Yes, I have.
Okay, both. Okay. So T7, so autonomic nervous system, and UB42, 43, 44 area, right? Okay. So let's see. And any discomfort?
Yes.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, so she has, I would call that more UB31, but just in case, let me try UB15. This is okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Oh,
Okay.
no, that's not
Sorry?
okay. Yeah, it hurts.
Hmm?
That hurts.
The top one hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, so she also has UB15. Okay, so I can't show UB15 for UB32, unfortunately. So, hold on, but maybe outside. This is okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember you have discomfort here, right?
Yeah.
Question, is it better?
Yes.
By how much?
It's almost gone.
Okay, and if I add the other scoops, and how much is now at the bottom?
It's gone.
Okay, so there's a strong connection between UB15 line and UB32 line. Okay, just accept it. It's one of those weird dogmas. I can't justify it. I don't know.
Same channel?
Hmm?
Same channel?
There are many on the same.
It's called the human channel. That's more than I can have. One is on the outside channel, one's on the inside channel. I don't know if it's on the same channel. Okay.
So you just took the outer bladder instead
Because
of
UB15
admitting-
hurts, I didn't want to try it. You know, I didn't want to stress it. Okay. So, but Lorraine, you have here, correct? And then you had here,
Oh,
and this side. Okay. So let's try do 2. How's now?
Still hurts.
Sorry, still there, no change?
Yeah, it's a bit better, but it still hurts.
Okay, let me go a little bit higher. This is T7. No. And now,
Yeah, that's a bit better. It's better.
by percentages, how much better?
It's much better.
Sorry?
It's much better.
Much
but
better.
it doesn't feel-
How about this side?
That's also much, it's almost gone.
Okay.
Mm.
How is this one and this one? They were painful before.
They're okay.
Okay, so do 2. Do 2 does relate to the bladder, but it also relates to the autonomic nervous system. If she said she had pain on do 2, I would have gone for lung 8 first to release it.
Again, do so again.
If she, in her case, if she had said do 2 is painful, I would have looked for lung 8 to release do 2 first. Okay. The other thing is I want to, is there any, yeah. Okay, it's something along the lines of the lungs, the anus, with do 2 is kind of on, you know, on this side, and the rectum is on the other side of the bone there, is called the gate of Poe, right? When the person dies, the Poe leaves through the anus. Okay, so therefore, lung 8 is related to the tailbone. So, is there any discomfort on L5? Because that's where nerves to the bladder will come from.
Actually, no, there was not.
Okay, how about here, sacroiliac? Sorry? A little pain. How about
Oh,
here?
no, that's more pain.
Okay, that's more pain here. Okay, so you said this is okay now?
Yeah.
Almost?
Yeah, almost.
How about this one?
A little bit worse, but it's still much better.
Okay, hold on.
So which one is that?
I'm on sacroiliac.
Right.
But it's not a structural issue. I could release it. I could, well, actually, I can release it with gallbladder 34, which is the official releaser for sacroiliac ligaments. But this sacroiliac ligament is a reflection of this, you know, that there's a fermentation, quote unquote, you know, here, so it creates the puffy sacrum, you know, or the inflamed sacroiliac ligaments. So I'm going to look for something else. Gallbladder 31 may do it. Yeah.
Ow.
Sorry. How's now the sacrum?
Sacrum.
The sacrum's okay totally?
Yeah.
Okay. But this is ouch.
That's very painful. Yeah.
Very painful.
It's like tender.
Gotcha.
So bladder 66. Cystitis is the water point.
How's 66 related to
The
consciousness?
lips can release the sacrum. It's the water point on the bladder channel of cystitis. It's like inflammation in the bladder.
Fair. I'm happy to try, but it wouldn't be my thinking, but you know, but there's no thinking that's wrong. How's now?
Good. It's fine.
There you go. See, it's all about making up stories and proving yourself right or wrong. You know, there's absolutely nothing.
It's on the dogma for like releasing sacrum or tailbones.
Tailbone, yes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was the thing I was hoping to avoid. It's okay?
Yeah.
So sorry about that. It's one of the releasing tailbone thing, but that wasn't tailbone, that was sacroiliac. But you know, but you came up with a nice theory that if you have, no, I'm serious. You know, that it's the water point on the bladder channel and it's the bladder. I'm happy to buy that.
Avi, are you interested
Apparently,
in?
Lorraine was also.
Sorry, are you interested in bladder 28 being the shoe point.
I'm in the area, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in the area of 28. Can I say I'm in 53, am I 28, am I 27? I mean, I'm in this area. Sacroiliac ligaments includes UB27, UB28, UB26, UB53.
Right.
Oh.
But you talked about sacroiliac rather than the bladder
Shoe.
And I was wondering why you thinking about that.
Okay.
Was it just that you're in the general area?
I'm in the general area, and because the bladder, the small intestine these shoe points, unlike these shoe points, are not as distinguishable. And their connection, in other words, I can tell you that the bladder can reflect here, but can I say it's exactly UB28? I wouldn't quite go that far. So for me, UB28 is not I'm looking at the sacroiliac ligaments. This area can reflects for me the bladder. My thinking is not UB28, because I understand exactly where you're coming from. It just isn't the way my mind works.
So that general area is
Because
a
it's much
reflection
bigger
of
than
the bladder as
UB28,
well.
yes.
Structure.
And it also, L5 will be included in this also. L5 as well as, by the way, the PSIS. Anything here?
Yes.
This
that
one?
yeah.
Okay, but just to make sure, is this one good now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you have this?
Yes.
Okay. So, because that's also related to, remember, if somebody has back pain across the PSIS, that's considered an immune type back pain. Okay? Therefore, this tissue under the PSIS is related also to immunity and to mucosal membranes. So let me try and strengthen that with its equivalent, which is under the scapular spine, which is points that I use for if she had pleurisy, so she fits in, but that will be more for upper lymph nodes. When I press, you have here, correct?
Yeah.
When I press at the top here, how's the bottom?
Yeah.
How much better?
Nearly gone.
Nearly gone. Let me just, another one. Try it. How's now?
Gone.
Gone. Okay. So it's under the scapular spine, so it's small intestine 12, but under the scapular spine. Small intestine 12 is above. And I'm needling towards small intestine 12. Okay. I'll show you on the other side. Let's see if we can find equivalents. Here. Hmm?
The first one is tendon.
This one.
That's tendon.
Okay. So I'm going to, usually we say for lung lymph type thing, we use under the scapular spine. Sorry. How's now?
Yeah.
Hmm? Better? Okay. Lots better.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Normally we'll do Moxa, but the shirt is so big here, I can't quite. There's no way to keep it in. Okay. So, just wanting to make sure that T7 is okay? All right?
Yeah.
It's good? Okay. Unfortunately, one has to talk. Tell me, I don't read people's minds. Okay. All right. So, and the gal points are okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only thing that I could,
Sorry, that second one, just first one, was a bit
this one.
tender.
Hold on, check.
That's a bit tender.
That one's a bit tender. Okay. Oh, and she still has, and this one's still uncomfortable, right?
Oh, it's not so bad.
Oh. Let me see if there's somewhere more bad.
No,
Hmm?
so it's a bit tender.
A bit tender,
Yeah.
okay. No, it's okay. All right. And it was this one, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. When I press 216, how is now?
Much better, it's gone.
Great. How is this one?
It's almost gone.
Okay. Do 16 is the exchange place for the wind. Feng Fu. Okay. This one is called the, it's not the city, it's the wind market. The market of the wind. Okay. So do 16, if she has this one's painful, I'm looking for other wind points. Why are there why is her mucosal membrane weak? Because if she is being attacked by wind all of them, you know, look, she's very delicate, right? You know, body type, right? Very thin, you know, you come together, right? So, you know, it's like this thin body type, very easily, any little wind, you know, she's not chunky, chubby, it's like the wind, I don't care, you know, it's like, I can stand here, you know, it's like, the wind kind of like, woo, you know, it's like, it's very hard for them to adjust, you know, therefore, immune system gets weak, mucosal members get weak, okay, and strangely enough, she actually shows another wind points. How's now wind point here?
Fine.
Good. Okay, so that's why I'm thinking do 16 can do a good job for
Where was that on the leg?
them.
What were you doing on the leg? On the leg.
Gallbladder 31. Gallbladder 31 can fix, you know, it's a big point, for example, for prostatitis. Okay, now, I know she doesn't have prostatitis, but it's a little similar area to cystitis, right? So it's important also because this whole tensa fascia lata, if it's pulling, it's going to pull on the structure of the pelvic floor, and therefore, you know, could be a contributing factor in the cystitis. So also releases piriformis. She had sacroiliac. She doesn't, you know, piriformis is okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this area is very important for any lower jowl issues for women. That's why it's not UB28 specifically. I'm looking at it as a lower jowl, as a whole, rather than just the bladder. Because, you know, the cystitis, usually, right? The cystitis is the inflammation of which part? It's not necessarily the bladder. It can be the urethra. I mean, how do people know that they have cystitis? It burns when they pee. Okay, so yes, it could be the motility of the bladder that's creating the pain, but usually it's actually through, you know, it's past the bladder. So the infection is usually more in the urethra, you know, that then goes into the bladder rather than the bladder itself. Then when they've had it many times, then the bladder starts, you know, the tissue in the bladder itself. That's why the bladder itself, by the way, is not a mucosal membrane. Exactly. But the urethra is. That's why for me she's weakness in a mucosal membrane. Does that make sense?
So you sort of went to palpate that area because you...
Because I wanted to, I was hoping it would release the sacroiliac, but it was very painful. So I was like, okay, we're not touching that one. So Nick came up with UB66. Oh. We can invite Ryan. Ryan. Oh.
No, I didn't.
I thought it was Ryan. They told me it was Ryan, not Brian.
Buddy.
Yeah. Well, isn't that good?
Any more questions?
Avi,
Yes.
before you did this, you pressed here and I was tender.
Yes.
So you use this one to release that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But also
Because I happened to, yeah, I started with the fact that she had gallbladder 31K. So then I'm going, okay, she has wind point pain. What's the connection with wind? And the connection with wind with mucosal, weakness in mucosal membranes is acceptable. You know, I can make up a story. Can I needle the wind exchange place and clear the bladder, the mucosal membranes? So she still has the lymph, I mean, she has other things. It's not just one thing. So this combination. Is that good?
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking what you were doing with that area there, because you pressed there, that you had tenderness.
The UB32 area, the outpoints, or the sacroiliac? Oh, L5, because nerves to the bladder come from L5. Therefore, very important for me to check.
And the 216 released it actually.
Yes. Now, it also has a structural function. Do 16 and do 2 are good friends, kind of stretching the spine out. Do 2 I use for any kind of spinal problems. Okay, they must be running some radio station. All right, any questions? Any desires, any thoughts for tomorrow?
Could I ask about a previous,
Of course you can.
well, two questions, not
That's okay.
related.
Yeah, that's
One,
okay.
gallbladder 39, when you use them for the heart, why was that?
The name for gallbladder 31 is suspended
39.
39,
Yeah.
sorry, whatever.
Sorry.
The one you're talking about is the suspended bell.
Yeah.
Okay. The character Schwann, suspended, can you write? Because I'm very underneath there's a heart, and over it is like, literally when you hang a person, they're hanging.
What, like a gallows? What, like a gallows?
I sort of, I mean, they're, okay, so this is the bell part, okay? This is metal, Jin, and the hand, there's a hand, a person with a hand striking the metal. This is a bell, okay? Whatever that music is, that's fine. Okay, so this is the bell, just like with kidney 4. Okay, something to do with rhythmical, thing. There's two places that are rhythmical. One is outside this wall, on the other side of this wall, and inside me there's the lung and there's the heart. So this is the bell part. This suspended, this is heart. If you write like calligraphy, very cute. It's okay. And then this is, are you sure? Schwann, like this?
Yes, this side is. Now you question me. I think yeah. No, I think that's
This is threads.
Yeah, that's thread.
And this is platform with what? This, I don't think this is, okay, go ahead. Well, we'll look it up. This looks now like an eye.
Yeah, that's the eye. I can't remember whether there are two legs there, but
if there's two legs, it becomes a platform. So I'm a little bit confused. But anyway, it's because I'm not. My Chinese sucks. It's kind of like, and also I'm a Westerner. How can I possibly write? No, really. I'm slow when I write. It's not. Like I used to write prescriptions for patients. They'd take it to Chinatown, and some of them said the herbal shop wouldn't take your prescription. Why? Because your herbalist is a 5-year-old. Now it's not a problem. You just type. So let the printer deal with it. I'm not interested. But the Schwann is like something hanging over. Okay, but it's the heart that's hanging over. So suspended has the point about this character is that it has either way, whatever, it has the heart, and it's the heart that's suspended. Okay. So therefore, when is the heart suspended? When somebody has an irregular heartbeat, specifically if they have a suspended heartbeat, meaning, you know what I mean? Like irregular, is that what they, skipping heartbeat. That's when this thing makes sense. Now, I didn't come up with this theory. I mean, it is my, I have to take credit for whether it's right or wrong because it's not come from any teacher. What happened was I had a patient with an irregular heartbeat, with a skipping heartbeat, and then this character came to my mind, and I said, okay, I want to see what gallbladder 39 will do. There's other suspended, gallbladder 5, gallbladder 6. One is suspended skull, Schwann Shu, and Schwann Li. Okay, one is suspended hair because it's passive. I'm serious. The Chinese had suspended hair. So yeah,
it is
not
that one.
everybody. It is? Okay. So what does this part of the character mean in which case?
It's
Something about hanging over, in my opinion. It's the one with a table. I think
hanging over is a right.
this
top,
part?
Yeah, top right.
the right is it's like a
It's
thread.
a string.
I thought, yeah, it's a string.
It's thread and hanging by
Yeah,
a
have
thread.
you got
It has to be upside down. Okay.
The Japanese style, I think we are the same,
Yeah.
Korean and
Yeah, yeah.
Japanese, but the opinion is a bit different.
Yeah, the Chinese may have
The
different
simplify
interpretations.
is different, yeah.
No, forget
This is
simplify
not
doesn't mean
simplify.
simplify doesn't mean anything. Simplify is like, who cares? Huh? Dynasty
Yeah.
didn't know about simplified. So anyway, the thing is, this has the heart being like hanging, okay? And then you have hanging here, and then you have inside the Sanjiao Shu, do 5 is also hanging. It's called Xuan Shu, the pivot, okay, the hanging pivot, okay? So if this is, because the hanging, the suspended, has the heart in it, it means that part of what's suspended is the heart or the mind, either the physical heart or the mind. Therefore, when does that happen? It happens in stroke, the mind gets suspended. Okay? And it happens in an irregular heartbeat where the physical heart gets suspended. It's not going to have, a physical heart is not going to be suspended any other time unless they're dead. There's only one time the heart can be suspended is when you have a skipping beat. And not skip, it's suspended. There's no other way the heart can be suspended, it just can't. Yeah, I believe that's a is it really the heart? I assume it was the consciousness. The heart really stops?
I heard it.
That's what, I've heard something about that when you're, actually I've heard, not hiccup, but sneezing, that you kind of lose consciousness for a second. But I don't know, I've tried to figure out if that's true or not on myself and I haven't been able to, so. I lost consciousness, I couldn't tell.
I think it is true. I sneeze as a reaction, always have done, and it's quite, 10, 15 is not unusual, very, very powerful. And lately, not when I was younger, I do get very dizzy towards the end.
Huh, okay, so it affects the consciousness.
I do think consciousness is going, yeah.
So that's my connection of gallbladder 39 with irregular heartbeat, which her father had.
I see.
So this is not a solution, gallbladder 39 is not a solution for all heart problems. Just, it's a supporting point when there's a skipping beat.
Okay.
So that's how it came for, it came up for her.
Great.
Okay. But I use gallbladder 39 lots.
Right.
Right. Because it's meeting point of marrow.
So it's what?
Hmm?
I haven't heard this. What have you just said? I haven't. You use it a
I
lot.
use
because-
gallbladder 39 a lot, nothing to do with the heart, because it's meeting point of marrow.
Oh, marrow. Yes.
Okay, so that's the point of it. It's not, the irregular skipping heartbeat is one particular little thing that I use gallbladder 39 for, but I use gallbladder 39 for lots, neck pain, back pain, all sorts of stuff because of marrow. So tomorrow my suggestion is think of things you want to, think of questions and subjects and stuff that you really want.
Autoimmune.
Sorry?
Autoimmune, if we can.
Autoimmune,
There are
yes.
so
Okay.
many of them.
Okay, we'll start tomorrow with autoimmune. Anything else?
Panic attack.
Panic attacks, okay. Digestion? Digestion, okay. You'll get Kiiko next month on middle jiao, must be digestion, unless the middle jiao now does something else. I don't know. Has middle jiao shifted to do something besides digestion?
Yeah, at some point, can you just elaborate on the idea how things change?
Oh.
Like Oketsu was the 70s, and
Okay.
just...
Let's do that now for a few minutes because we're going to dinner these other people are staying anyway, so we're not really late. So yeah. The system, Kiiko, this is my understanding. Okay, Kiiko went to Nagano. Kiiko didn't intern with Nagano for a full year or anything. She found articles by him and then she was living in Boston. She started going, thank you, you're good. Oh, wait, no. Okay, now you can move. So when I started, we didn't have a Nagano system. We just had a few points. This point good for this point good for this. Hold on a second. How are you feeling?
Dizzy.
Okay, take your time. You don't have to get up. Any pressure or discomfort here?
No,
Okay. Take your time, go to the bathroom, and come back and let us know. Good. On your own time. All right. So, just get there. So, I was kind of there as we started familiarizing ourselves with the system and kind of creating it, because you have to understand, Kiiko and Nagano did not do the same thing. Nagano did it from pulse. Kiiko came from Manaka. The way Kiiko explains it is she understood that she was not going to be a great pulse, suddenly convert and become this fabulous pulse analyzer. Okay, so she looked at what he was doing. She would go to Japan once or twice a year and be there for a week or two and look at what he was doing and try to correlate it with things that would be easier, number one, for her to do, and number two, for her to teach. Because it's like, you know, you can say, oh yeah, Nagano says with this kind of pulse you can do that, and then your students are going, well, so who cares what Nagano says? Can show me, you know, like, but I can't produce it. So she created this sort of method of looking at it in the abdomen as well, and correcting the abdomen, quote unquote, correcting the abdomen with his style points. Okay. Now, so there was a Nagano style before Oketsu came, about 3 or 4 years into this process, at least 3 years into the process. So we have survived without Oketsu perfectly well. Now, Oketsu came and it made its improvement, and that was nice. Now, this was in the 90s, mid-90s. So I don't know if you remember what the mid-90s were like. Some of you may not even, not even born, I don't know. But the mid-90s was the time when, you know, well, it was very similar here in a way. You know, this was the post-Thatcher period, right? Just post-Thatcher, right? You know, Tony Blair. The economy was doing very well. We had Clinton, so we were post-Reagan, post-Bush. The economy was doing very well because some, you know, the internet was starting. The whole .com industry was picking up. It was a very lovely party. You know, the wall had just come down in 1999 or 1990, so suddenly everything, there was an expansion of markets, of ideas, of everything was opening, okay? So everybody was having, you know, a little extra cheese, a little extra wine, kind of thing. So Oketsu made sense for that time, okay? Because if you have too much, you take in too much, quote unquote, toxicity in your body, times are good, so we're kind of having a little toxicity, it's kind of fun, you know, then it's going to accumulate in the body, it's going to show as Oketsu. The dogma was 80% of all patients have Oketsu. Never believe anybody when they tell you 80% of all patients show blah, blah, blah. Kawai used to say 80% of all patients either have UB13 line painful or UB14 or 15 painful. Please. And how do you distinguish exactly between the two? I mean, that was one of the ways by which we were supposed to distinguish a certain treatment. You know, it was a chow or wei. Okay? So, then came year 2000. Okay? So a number of issues happened. Now I'm going to speak from an American perspective because that's where I live, that's what I'm observing. In the United States, do you remember something called Y2K? Okay, there was supposed to be this big scarcity of everything and the whole economy was supposed to fall. Maybe it was supposed to be Y2 2008, I don't know, whatever. But the idea was because of the computer thing, you know, that they only had 2 digits for the year, blah, 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 everything was going to fall apart. It didn't fall apart, but the economy did falter because what happened, everybody bought everything in advance, so then there was a year or two that a lot of corporations didn't need to resupply themselves. So there was a fall in the economy, it's true. Then another very big phenomenon that people don't take into account, in 2000, at the end of 2000, there was an American election, okay? And do you know who won that election?
Bush.
Gore won the election, but
Wow.
Bush got in.
Yeah.
Bush got in. Whatever your political views are, you may like Bush, not like Bush, like Gore, not like Gore. The point is, this is the first clear place in American history where Americans are told that their democracy doesn't work, that it's basically a sham. Okay. How is your?
Much better. It's still a little bit there, but I'd say it's like 80 or even 90% better. So it just doesn't.
So, do you guys have like Ibuki Moxa or something? Stick on Moxa, so she can do liver 5 on her own?
No.
Okay, come back, I'll give you magnets on liver 5. So,
You wouldn't even think of a press tag there.
on liver 5 now.
No, you're really, no.
Yuki. That's nice. Yeah, on your back, yes. Actually, let me see if I have stronger magnets. Not that it matters that much. So now you have the shaking of one of the basic American beliefs. A year later, what happens?
9/11.
You have 9/11. Now, this is a major shakeup of American belief because there's one thing that Americans believe. If I can, somebody can open this for me. Sorry, I can't find it. America has never been attacked on its own ground ever since. Well, you guys attacked it. It's after the Americans decide they're attacking you after the revolution. Whatever their story was, America has not been attacked on its own ground except in the Civil War. Sorry? Hawaii was not America at that time. It was an American base, but it wasn't officially America. Hawaii joined the Union after the war. So, extra tape, please, so they keep. You can take a shower, whatever, when it falls, it falls. That's just the nature of it. So now we're entering a whole era of basically that you can say is marked by fear. So that's when we start. We've always seen adrenal. It's not like there hasn't been adrenals before, but we suddenly, around 2000, the oketsu starts to decline and the adrenals start to. A few years later, we start seeing more and more, well actually, definitely by 2008-9, suddenly this REN9 pulse starts to take over. Okay, so thank you.
Was that the north? Did you use a north? Did you put the north?
North facing both. Yeah. If I was using another point, like for example, if I was going to use immune point, then I would, this one will get the south. Yeah. But that's the major, I believe that's the major point there for north. You don't do north-south across, if it's considered 1 point, 1 point is just north.
Do they, on the side, do they always come with north to the skin?
Supposedly.
They don't.
Everybody, yeah, that's, you see, the problem is if you, there's a problem with, people say it's a bio-north, it's a real north, it's a blah blah. I'm just assuming that the nipple is the north, that's, you know, and I don't argue. I'm not going to check every magnet with another magnet to know if it's really there. Are you pointing? Thank you. I'm not going to go, are you pointing to the North Star, or are you pointing to the South Star? It's like whatever. They claim it's north facing, I'll take it. So if she has south on it, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. So then we started seeing REN9s much more. Now, my understanding of this has come really more because having starting to treat people in other cultures, okay, you're going to have fear shock when you have, it's a degree of hopelessness or helplessness, in my opinion. As we are, as a world, as a culture, are moving more and more towards helplessness or hopelessness. Okay, people are less involved nowadays than they were before. There's just a general feel. Okay, so they had a Paris summit. You know, anybody stopping global warming? I don't think so. Okay, we all know whatever your political views about these things. I know in America it's more controversial, so here it probably isn't. It's like we all know that in some manner the world is, you know, it's falling apart. Okay, however you look at it, and we all sort of feel like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? We don't. This is not like 1968 where people feel, oh, the revolution, we will change the world. We don't have that so strongly. Okay? So we're moving more towards. We all feel like we don't have the capacity to make change. So. What I saw in Indonesia was, because it's a country that has a lot less hope in general, no one had adrenal, no one, not a single patient, impossible, okay? And so many people have REN9 instead, okay? And REN9 does have something to do with adrenal, okay? So it's a manifestation of a shift in the consciousness of fear, okay? And then now REN9, I think there's a point where even that's shifting, and we're moving into perhaps maybe a certain sense of apathy. I don't know, because I can't predict where history goes. A sense of apathy. In which case, well, you know, there's just nothing, you know. So, I mean, that may change, assuming that we all survive as a world. But that's where I believe that in some ways that's why the REN9 is becoming not quite as prevalent. The last 2 years, it's beginning to be a little less, just a teeny bit. Okay, so that's my understanding of these changes.
And will apathy reflect?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to have to wait and see what happens in 10 years, assuming any of us are there in 10 years. You know, and we'll say, oh, this. Well, first of all, maybe it won't be apathy. Maybe we said something else. We just don't know. I mean, you know, if you're looking at, say, if the current elections in the U.S. are any indication, it's not, apathy is going to be part of it, and anger is, you know, like, you know, there's a lot of frustration and a lot of pissed offness as well. So it may not be apathy, it may be like the total opposite. We just don't, I mean, I can't predict where history is going. But what I'm trying to say is that as the culture shifts, the body, the reactions of the body, the medicine shifts as well. They come together in my opinion. Okay, you know, I only have 25 years worth of experience. You know, I'm not sitting and, you know, I mean, Zhang Zhongjing didn't describe, you know, in the Shanhanlo they have this abdomen, this abdomen, this abdomen. We don't have the capacity to know what people say 2,000 years ago and correlate it to their culture. We can, unfortunately, it's the kind of thing that, it just needs a very subtle communication, you know, and a very particular, I mean, who the hell is interested in how the body changes as the culture changes? I mean, you can look at pictures that people painted, you know, like you can look at Rubens, or, you know, like, or Rembrandt or whatever, and you can say, okay, these are body types. Well, maybe Rubens just liked big voluptuous women. You know, I mean, that's the assumption, because chances are not everybody in his time was. You know, because you'd have to have a fair amount of money to eat food and be voluptuous. So chances are not every woman in that era in Antwerpen was like that. So we can't really know what different cultures were. I can only speculate. And that's what we're constantly doing also with the classics. I'm speculating from my mind as a 21st century person to trying to guess what a mind in the first century was thinking. It's a guess. It's just a guess. And you know, all I can do is either I can prove it on the patient's body, who is a 21st century person again. So if it works, great, then these were great masters and they gave us fabulous things. And if it doesn't work, you know, then either my interpretation was wrong, maybe they were wrong. Chances are they had something, because the meridian system did not come up. Okay, my real interest is the meridian system. You know, it's meridians. It's not so much the theory of the meridian. The people who came up with it were not just acupuncturists, it's not just medicine, it's meditators, it's Qigong people, it's, you know, martial arts type people, and it's generations. It's not one person came up with, there's 12 meridians, and, you know, one person one day sort of had a system and lumped it together. Okay? Many, many people did it over many generations. The chances of them being wrong, I'm sure there's superstition in there, I'm sure there's rubbish in there as well, because there always is. You know, there's always egos, and I want them listening to the point so they remember me, Mr. Watto, or whatever, whoever it was that invented these things. But there's, let's say 90% of it probably has some truth, but we just, or some deep understanding, we just don't necessarily know how to unravel it. And that's our job, is to keep looking at the meridians. It's a map that people left us, and how can we understand this map better and better, you know, in a way that produces results. You know, and that's why, for me, I think it is important to look at point names and to constantly research, you know, what could this mean? And this is a real problem for those of us who don't speak Chinese. You know, because we don't have the tools. We were not given those tools. But at the end of the day, you know, the body is a body. You know, it's like we're still, whatever changes happened in the last 2,500 years, which, by the way, in the next 20 years or 30 years, will be way bigger. Because we already have people who are, transgender is actually a fabulous example. You are no longer committed to what your genetics gave you. not just in gender, in terms of diseases. We're now this is not natural selection, this is selection by choice. We can choose our genetics, and we will be doing more and more of that. So all of medicine is going to change in the next 30 years, in my opinion. You know, but between us, who were born to natural selection, pretty much, and people in the Han Dynasty, 2,500 years ago, we're still pretty similar. I mean, you know, it's not like us and Neanderthals. It's us and people are relatively similar to us. Okay, so we're still between heaven and earth. We can still say the human is between heaven and earth, blah, 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 blah. You know, the same ideas should still apply. But the people who are born in 30, 40 years, I'm not guaranteeing anything. Plus, I'm not going to be there to be able to evaluate, so it's not going to be important. You know, it's just fun to speculate. So, you know, I can't tell you what will happen in 5 years with cultures and history. You know, I really, you know, there's just no way anyone can do that. All right, enough of these, this psychobabble. So enjoy your evening, or let's enjoy dinner. And let's come back if you want to start early, I'm happy to start early.